Hi friends, Stephanie here, and I'm back with more movie chatter. And what I have for you today are 10 more films that I think you'll enjoy watching. And you guys seem to enjoy these segments, so I told you I'd keep doing them, and here's another one. And I'm just going to get right into it with my first film that stars none other than Mads Mikkelsen. Is he going to be in every video we do? I don't know, maybe. But he's awesome. And he's awesome in this film too. This one is called Another Round. It is in Danish with English subtitles. And Mads Mikkelsen plays a guy who is part of a group of friends, guy friends. They all hang out. They have a good time together. And one day they're out and they come up with this idea to do this experiment about maintaining a certain level of blood alcohol. They don't want to be inebriated, but they just want to see if they maintain enough blood alcohol to make them happier, more engaged, calmer, more involved with life, able to handle stress better. They want to see if it's going to make a difference in their life, a positive difference in their life. And we follow them on their experiment, and we see how this experiment unfolds and how it affects positively and negatively each one of their lives. And it is such a great movie. This is one that more people should be talking about, and everyone should be watching. It is so, so good. So definitely do your homework and put Another Round on your list because you will not regret it. It is so, so good and so eye-opening. It's really fantastic. So Another Round's my first one. Now this one, I don't ever hear anyone talk about this. It doesn't mean they're not talking about it, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, and I think it's fantastic. It is a Shudder film, so it's probably still available to stream on Shudder, I would hope. It's called Tigers Are Not Afraid. And this one is in Spanish with English subtitles. It takes place in Mexico. And I've heard it described as, it is not a Guillermo del Toro film, but I have heard it described as part Pan's Labyrinth, part City of God, which I think is kind of accurate. Now this is a really good film, and it's about a group of 5 children who have been orphaned. They're living on the streets, and they stay together for protection. They are trying to hide out from these terrible people that are running around the streets of Mexico that are part of like these drug cartels and things like that. And if they get a hold of these kids, they take them and no one knows what happens to them. So they are constantly on the move, watching out for each other. They're very afraid. And this in parts can be a very, very tough watch. So just heed that warning and maybe do a little research on this before you jump into it if you're sensitive to things like violence that involves children and things like that. But I think this is a really great film. And another interesting aspect of the film is that there is some fantasy worked into it, which is part of the children's way of coping with the atrocities that are going on around them. And if you watch the film, you'll get it. It is such an amazing, important movie, but I just think Tigers Are Not Afraid is fantastic. So definitely put it on your list, check it out. Maybe do watch a trailer or two, see if it's something that you're interested in, but I think this is really, really good. So definitely check it out. Tigers Are Not Afraid. And this is another one. I have never heard anyone talk about this. Again, doesn't mean they're not, but I just think it's so much fun. And it stars Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant. It's called Florence Foster Jenkins, and this is laugh out loud funny. I cried laughing watching this movie every time I watch it. Meryl Streep plays Florence Foster Jenkins, which is a mouthful to say. And she is a wealthy socialite, and she is convinced, like her whole life is music, let's put it that way. She loves music, she loves singing in particular. And she has always been told by her father that she has to keep her interest in music, she has to continue to pursue music, and she surrounds herself with people who tell her she's musically and vocally talented. She is not. She could shatter glass with her voice. It is so, so bad and so, so funny. And all I can say is just watch it, because if you need something to lift your spirits and make you laugh, Meryl Streep has never been more funny than she is in this film. She's fantastic, and it's just so good. So Florence Foster Jenkins, if you want to hear Meryl Streep belt it out like you've never heard before, definitely check this one out. And this would go under like comfort films and feel-good films and raging comedy. So, so funny and so great. And this is another one, I don't really hear a lot of people mention it. Someone did ask about it, I think maybe on the live stream, and I had to bring it up because I'm a huge Steve Carell fan. And this also stars, Steve Carell and also Keira Knightley. It's called Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. And Steve Carell, his name in this is Dodge, and Keira Knightley plays his neighbor Penny. And they find out that there's this huge asteroid barreling towards Earth, and we have 3 weeks left to live. Well, Dodge's wife freaks out and takes off and just leaves him in the apartment. He doesn't know what to do. And Keira Knightley is his neighbor, and all she wants to do is find a way to get back to her hometown so she can be with her family for the end of the world. And somehow the two of them, they meet up in the hallways of the apartment building where they live, and they're both alone. There's riots breaking out in the street and all kinds of things going on, as you would expect in this situation. And they decide to take a road trip because he finds a letter from an old friend who says she has always had a crush on him, always had feelings for him. So he wants to see her. Keira Knightley wants to see her family, and they go on this road trip, and they are trying to get there. And we follow them on this road trip while also dealing with the possibility of this asteroid that is just barreling towards Earth. But this is so much better than you would think it was. I expected nothing going into this. It is so good. It has like dark comedic moments. It has heartfelt moments. It has very deep moments. It's so good, and it is rated R, so it's not like the corny comedy. It's really, really good. So if you haven't seen Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, definitely put it high on your list because it's really a good one. Very, very good. And going a little more serious, I touched on this during my Blu-ray collection tour, but I wanted to share it with you a little bit more. It stars Charlie Plummer. It's called Words on Bathroom Walls, and Charlie Plummer plays a fellow by the name of Adam. And I believe he's in his senior year in high school. He's having all kinds of problems. He's acting out. He's getting in trouble. He ends up getting thrown out of school, and he has to go to a different school. And they say it's for behavioral reasons, but what it turns out is he's diagnosed with a severe form of mental illness. And he is trying to keep that to himself when he goes into this new school because he wants to make friends. He wants to acclimate. He wants to fit in and, just be a normal student. And he meets up with this gal and just tries to maintain a normal relationship, and she's very much a free spirit and tries to just get him to embrace who he is. But we follow them on their friendship and their journey, and him in particular. And he's also very interested in pursuing the culinary arts, so he wants to be a chef, and he's very into food and all kinds of things. But really, really good movie, and it's an excellent look at teens dealing with mental illness, mental health, trying to support each other, and it's really, really good. It's one of the best movies I have seen on this topic, so definitely give it a look and just give it a try because it's really, really good. And it's you would think a movie like that would be super, super depressing, but it really isn't. It's very good. It's very helpful. So I'm just going to grab 5 more movies and we're going to move it along. Okay, I'm back with 5 more and we're going to wrap this one up. Now, this first one might surprise you a little bit because it's not my typical go-to, but I absolutely love this version of this movie. And this is Greta Gerwig's retelling of Little Women. And no, I did not grow up watching Little Women. I wasn't interested in the original. I wasn't interested in the one with Winona Ryder. I have watched them since I've seen this, and still, they don't hold a candle to this one. And basically, it's a story. It's Little Women, and the thing that sets this one apart is that Greta Gerwig went the extra mile to obtain letters between Louisa May Alcott, who was the author of the original Little Women book, and her sister, where she talked about how publishers in the time when she wrote the book would not allow her to have the story she wanted and the ending that she wanted for her characters, because in the time when the original book was published, the main character, if it was female, either had to die or be married, and she didn't want either one for her character. So Greta Gerwig set out to give the source material the voice that the author always wanted and wasn't allowed to have, and she nailed it in this. Not only did she nail that, but she did an absolutely stunning job with the choreography, the cinematography, the dialogue, the storytelling, the interaction between the characters. I believe it won an Oscar for costumes. I believe the costume design won an Oscar. Absolutely impeccable. She did a beautiful job with this film. So even if this is not your thing, if it's not your typical go-to movie, definitely give it a chance. Check it out. I have heard people trash this movie, and it absolutely kills me every time I hear it because I know what went into this by watching endless hours of interviews with Greta Gerwig on her process, and I just think what she turned out here and what she did for the source material is nothing short of amazing. So definitely check out Little Women. Whether it's your thing or not, it's worth a look. And this next one, I think I've talked about it before, but I'm going to bring it up again. It's based on true stories. It's based on a true story. And it stars Hugh Jackman and the amazing Allison Janney, who never disappoints. It's called Bad Education, and this is about a school district on Long Island. And Hugh Jackman, I believe, is a superintendent. And this is about one of the biggest cases of financial embezzlement in a school district that we know about. How about that? And it took place on Long Island, and the way they present this film, it's so quirky, and there's a lot of dark comedy, and there's a lot of weird things going on, and you're not really sure what it's going towards or what, where it's heading. But man, when this story breaks out, it is amazing. And the problems begin when a student wants to write a little piece about the school budget for the school newspaper. And all I can say is don't talk to the press, because it will not lead you anywhere good. But this is really, really good. And I'm trying to skate around all the details without ruining the story for you, because I don't want to spoil anything. But definitely check out Bad Education, because it is so, so good and so eye-opening about mismanagement of money that we just turn over to different school districts, companies, corporations, all kinds of things. So if you want to know where your money's going, watch Bad Education. You will not be disappointed. And this next one, this is a Tim Burton film, and whether you're a Tim Burton fan or not, you are going to really like this one. It stars Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz, also based on a real story. Amy Adams plays a gal who is a single parent, and she paints these paintings for people for money. It's how she's trying to get by. And her classic signature is that they all have these big eyes. And she starts to she's selling them on the street, and then she ends up meeting Christoph Waltz, and he's very interested in her, and she's telling her friends, I know it's moving fast, but I'm a single parent. What am I going to do? This guy's interested in me. And she kind of takes up with him and marries him before she really gets to know his character and who he is. And all I can say is he kind of convinces her to step aside, and since they have the same last name and they're married, kind of let him deal with selling the art and almost selling it as his own creations. And she just goes along with it for as long as she can. And all I'm going to say is watch it, because what unfolds is wild. And it's hard to believe that this really happened and that it was a true story. And I can't really say much more about it because it'll spoil the watch for you, and I don't want to do that. But this is a very, very eye-opening, but very interesting story about, just something that really happened to someone and how they had to fight for what was really theirs and their creation, and just really good stuff. So definitely check out Big Eyes, and don't be dissuaded if you're not a Tim Burton fan, because it's not his typical thing. Now this one is a great documentary, and I think I've spoken about it before, and I love movies, but I also love music, and a documentary about music and musicians, I couldn't ask for a better combination. And this one is called Searching for Sugarman. And we have this guy, and he's a musician. He goes by Rodriguez, and I believe he's in Detroit. Yeah, he's in Detroit, and he sings in bars, and he gets discovered in these bars, but he's a very quiet, very shy man. He goes to his day job, and these guys, these record people convince him, you've got to make a record. You've got something in you. So he makes this record. And I think he made 2 records, and they both flopped. They just flopped, and he kind of went away, and no one knew what happened to him. So these guys discover his music, and they start to do an investigation to figure out where this guy is, what happened to him, because it's like he just fell off the face of the earth. And there are rumors that he is dead. There's music that he took his own life on stage because he was so depressed about the records failing, all kinds of things. And they go on this quest to find him and find out what happened to him and find out where he is, if he's still alive. And what they find out will blow your mind. It is amazing. And the music is so good. I actually have it on vinyl. And it is so good. But I don't want to say any more about it because I want you to watch this for yourselves. Searching for Sugarman is an amazing music documentary, and whether you're a fan of documentaries or not, you will love this. I promise you, you will love it. It's an amazing story. And this last one, this is making the rounds on some pages like Diabolic and Orbit because it's getting a 4K release, and it is called The Man from Nowhere. This is a South Korean film, so it is in Korea with English subtitles. We have our main guy here who he's working in a pawn shop, and he's just kind of, you know, doing his own thing, and he is befriended by this this little girl, and what happens is the little girl's mother is involved in some things, and I don't want to say what they are. And what happens is the little girl gets taken and she's kidnapped by these bad people that her mother is involved with. And we find out very quickly that our guy here has a past, and he will stop at nothing to find this little girl and take care of the people who have taken her. And he doesn't know if she's alive or dead. He doesn't know what's going on, but he will take them out. He has no problem with it. This is an amazing story, amazing action sequences. Think Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, but Korean, and I think better. This is fantastic. So if you like action, if that's your thing, don't worry about the subtitles. You'll be fine with it. This is a great movie. The Man from Nowhere. You will not be disappointed at all, I promise you. So definitely check these out. These are 10 movies that I think anyone can enjoy, and I tried to pick a little bit from each type of genre. And hopefully you'll find something in there that you like. And I want to thank you as always for watching. You know I appreciate it. And I have plenty more coming. I'm going to put up the schedule for this week. Getting ready in about an hour. I'm going to be going live with my friend Cinema Dave. This may show up after the live, but anyway, if you're around, come join us on the live stream on Cinema Dave's channel. And if you like this kind of content, collection updates, film recommendations, top 10 lists, you name it, we do it here. We do all the things. Consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so you know when I upload again. And like I said, I will post my schedule for the week of videos over on the community tab, so keep an eye on that. And that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go get ready to do a live stream. So for now, that's a wrap.